the church together with the 12 disciples, and we came along and saw that the church grew. The church grew from the 12 to 72, and then from 72 to 120, and then from 120 we saw the 3,000, whereby Peter and 3,000 souls received Christ. And therefore from there we saw when Jesus was feeding the 5,000 with the bread. And for that matter, the church continued growing until today. That is the church we are talking about, the early church. And we covered a lot about the early church. And today, allow me to speak about the persecuted church. The persecuted church in the ADs 35. In the ADs 35, that is what we call the persecuted church, because there was a persecution in the church of Jerusalem, whereby we said that James was the pastor of the church in Jerusalem, and therefore it allows a great persecution, whereby even Stephen and other members of the church were killed. Stephen was killed, was stoned to death because of faith. And therefore we find that there are so many people, so many believers died during the persecution, and therefore we cannot ignore that church, because they fought for the faith. And as we remember the persecuted church, we will be able to reposition ourselves even to handle the faith. We shall be able even to defend the faith, because the early believers, they defended the faith until death. And therefore faith is a very crucial matter as far as believers are concerned. And therefore, as we talk about the persecuted church, I want to read scriptures in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter number 12 and verse number 5. That's where we shall be able to see the persecuted church. But while Peter was in prison, the church prayed very earnestly for him. In this particular verse is talking about the persecution whereby Peter was persecuted, and before then James was beheaded, and therefore there was that killing, there was that persecution, and therefore Peter was caught and put into Peter was caught and was